and also giving me the language and the tools to kind of quiet the noise that I was receiving regarding sleep training, regarding kind of what he had going on and what I intuitively knew that he needed, but I was kind of being told other things. So hearing, your book and your language gave me the language myself to quiet that noise and to really trust what I intuitively knew that he needed.
Yeah.
So
he sounds so much like me when I was a baby. And you're like my mom. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Spoil Your Baby podcast. I am so happy to have Gabrielle Ferrara here with us today. She is a Nurture Neuroscience practitioner and one of the consultants that I have on my page. So I'm so happy she's here. And there's so much more to your story, Gabrielle. We want to know, how did you get into this field of babies and moms and sleep? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me, Greer. I'll try to give the Reader's Digest version of my story, but essentially my education is in mental health counseling and social work. So I went to undergrad and grad school for psychology and social work, graduated with my master's in social work, and actually have a license as a licensed clinical social worker here in the US, in New Jersey and Florida. So that's kind of my first career path, was mental health and psychology and providing therapy services to lots of different populations, honestly. And then I had my son at the end of 2023. So he's about to be 2. I think he'll be 2 by the time this episode airs. And
I'm laughing about a 2-year-old in sleep, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay. Yeah. So he turns 2 next week, in just early December. And so I went on my maternity leave and plan to come back to being a therapist full time. I plan to go back to my full-time job, and really didn't see, not that I didn't see motherhood like changing me, but I didn't see it completely uprooting kind of like what my professional goals were and values. And then my son came and he was like, "Nope, mom, everything's going to change. I'm here. I'm unique and I have unique needs and things are kind of going to change."
Yeah.
So I found your book when my son was about 4 months old. And that's when his own personal sleep stuff really started to get a little hairy. So I found your book, listened to it on audiobook as I was pacing my house with my baby as he was crying and he had reflux and it was really, really tough. And so I'm listening to you in my earbuds as we were navigating all of that. And so when I go back to that period of time in my life, like I hear your voice in my head, because that's essentially what was in my head. And it was really transformative for me in terms of navigating how I wanted to respond to my own child and his needs and what he was trying to communicate to me.
Yeah.
And also giving me the language and the tools to kind of quiet the noise that I was receiving regarding sleep training, regarding kind of what he had going on and what I intuitively knew that he needed, but I was kind of being told other things. So hearing, your book and your language gave me the language myself to quiet that noise and to really trust what I intuitively knew that he needed.
Yeah.
So
he sounds so much like me when I was a baby. And you're like my mom.
Yeah, he is, honestly. I mean, I know every parent says their baby is like perfect, and all babies, every baby is perfect. But I love my son to the end of the earth. And I really believe that we are given the babies that we need in some way, or like the universe gives us kind of like the babies that we need to grow ourselves, and also trust that, I know that I was chosen to be my son's mother for a reason. Like he needed me as much as I needed him and everything. So it's been really a beautiful experience, a very challenging experience at times, but beautiful. So yeah. And then, so I, read your book and I was really into everything that you were sharing, and, saw that you were launching the first cohort of the Nurture Neuroscience practitioner program. And I really, kind of took a leap and jumped on it because I didn't really know where it was headed. I didn't know what I would do with it, but I was like, this is really in line with what I am living right now in my own life. And even if it turns out that I never do anything with it professionally, I think it would be really valuable for me to learn the information and be among other moms, parents, professionals that have this mindset and have these values and have this sort of experience, because it can get kind of lonely to be in a high nurture space sometimes if you're not surrounded by other people that are in that space. So worst case scenario, and worst case scenario is still an amazing scenario, I would be surrounded by people with similar parenting mindset and values. Best case scenario, it would become this thing that I could then kind of translate into a career professionally, as well as something that was really important to me personpersonally. So that's kind of how I ended up in the first
I love how
cohort.
there's like such a supportive community.
Yeah.
We have grandmothers, we have,
Yeah.
people at all different parts of life, but there's definitely always a huge population of moms with little ones in the group.
Oh,
And
it's perfect. I love it.
The support that's there.
Me too. Me
It's
too.
amazing.
Yeah. So that's the short version of the story, but yeah, that's how we're here.
I love it. I love it. So now you're mostly doing consults, sleep consults with families.
Yep.
How's that been going for you?
It's been going really well. I am definitely feeling, more confident every time I do one, and more kind of grounded in A, my own ability to do this work, and B, the overall necessity of this type of work in society as a whole. Because what I am seeing a lot of times is a big majority of parents that either I work with in consults, or parents that I even come into contact with on social media, or, interacting with them online, is this question of, is what my baby doing normal? Like, I get that question a lot. Is this normal?
Yeah.
Is this normal? And a lot of the work that I find myself doing is just providing education and reassurance. Like, yes, this is normal. What your baby needs is normal. What they are asking for is normal. And if it's not normal, here is actually kind of what we can do to navigate that, whether it's, medical red flags, or maybe neurodivergence, or some other things that, again, not that that's not normal, but those are factors that warrant more exploration and more kind of intervention. And we can target those things in a way that's still responsive and nurturing and attachment based. And I think that's a breath of fresh air for a lot of parents who, like me, were kind of inundated with this messaging that the only answer is sleep training, the only answer is removing responsiveness, telling parents that their babies are being manipulative, like all this type of language that can be really, really overwhelming for parents. And I think one of the best things that I do, and the best thing that I can offer, is to tell parents, this is normal, your feelings about it are normal, and for the aspects of this that maybe aren't normal or need more exploration, I'm here for you, and I can help you, and I can support you through that.
I feel like supported just through what you just said. And it brings in that experience that you had with your son too, right? Like, you can really help people from like in a really embodied and knowledgeable space, right?
I think my experience with my son, and also honestly my work as a therapist, kind of comes in here too, because I really pride myself on it being like a collaborative approach and kind of a conversation, versus me being like, okay, here's what you need to do, here's the plan, here's XYZ. Like, that rigidity is not helpful, because it's not a one size fits all response. Absolutely. And babies aren't one size fits all. So I kind of am familiar with that conversational, collaborative approach from being a therapist. So I feel like I bring that in as well. And then, yes, the personal aspect of what I've been through as a mom, I think, comes into play a lot.
Yeah. The gap between, just into that is it normal question, like the gap between what parents expect, like what the typical mom and dad parents, like, go through life before having a baby. They're like, oh I hear you don't sleep. But then there's like commercials where like the baby's just like lowered awake into a crib and you turn off the lights and turn on a lullaby.
In the perfect nursery with the crib and the nurse. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, all my clients always set up that nursery that is just probably never going to be put in or used. And then the reality, it's so vastly different, right? The babies that are, going down the sleep training route, everything looks so vastly different than in a family that's responding.
Totally. And I think we need to normalize the grief that might come along with that experience too. And like grieving what you thought your baby's sleep was going to look like, what, they were sleeping peacefully in the nursery and you envisioned them, going to sleep in this nice nursery and,
You set it up. You
having,
took so much
yeah,
care and
right. And I remember for me, like, I had grief over, so, I set the nursery up for my son and we had it all decorated and everything like that. And then ultimately we ended up taking apart the crib and putting a floor bed in and taking all like the decorations off the wall and everything like that because they were hazards to him and with the floor bed. And now his room is literally like an empty room with a mattress on the floor. And I'm like, this is depressing in a way, but also I know it's what he needs and I know it's best for him and for us. But like the grief that comes along with that of like, where's the cute nursery that I thought we were going to have?
It is not cute. No, it's for sure. I mean, I did not get a crib or anything like that. I knew what to expect because myself and my brother, we bed shared and my cousins all bed shared. Not all, but a lot of them did. But I would still feel like people were judging me or weird. Like when they came out, they're like, "Where's his crib? Where's your son's room?" I was like, "He has a dresser. Like his clothes are."
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then my son stopped wanting to be changed on the changing table. So now that doesn't even get used. Now we just change him on the floor or standing up. So I'm like, what was the point of even getting the changing table? So it's just, there's some grief that comes along with.
Yeah. No, it's really important to acknowledge that because I think people have to go through that, like grieve what they expected to be able to get into the space of actually being able to like get the joy from baby sleep too. Right?
Totally.
Do you want to tell us about that part for you and on your journey?
My journey with my son's sleep? Yes. So I make the joke that if you go through the list of medical red flag sleep disruptors, he has pretty much every one on the list or has at some point. And it has been a journey of advocating for him and figuring out what is going on and what to even tackle first or what is impacting other things. So, I want to kind of, be mindful of what I share for his privacy, but he has had, reflux, he's had oral ties, he's got low ferritin, he's got, what are some of the big ticket ones? I don't even know. But like open mouth breathing, snoring, like all of those sorts of red flag sleep disruptors that we have been trained in this program to identify or to help support families through. And he has also a pretty sensitive temperament. So even things like getting him tested for some of these things has been really hard. And I've been putting it off sometimes because I just know it's going to be an experience of having to maybe hold him down or have him cry the whole time. And like, it's hard to balance the medical needs with the nurturing needs, for lack of a better term. Like, obviously I don't want to have to hold him down to get blood drawn. But sometimes it's necessary. So you get that data. And it's just been a very difficult, challenging experience of trying to meet his needs and figure out what about sleep is so challenging for him and what is impacting what factors are impacting the other factors. Yeah. So, and unfortunately have met a lot of pushback from the medical system, which is something that I talk about, with parents, and I talk about it on my social media a lot because unfortunately there is a very medicalized behaviorist approach to infant and toddler sleep, especially here in the US. And I've gotten a lot of pushback about what I should be doing to support my son and what he needs. Even just today, honestly, I got I asked for the medical records from a sleep doctor that we saw, and the visit summary from our appointment says that he needs to learn how to self-soothe, he needs to learn to be more independent, he should be put down drowsy but awake, all those things, like literally in this visit summary. And that was very discouraging to me because I'm there kind of trying to advocate for him and his symptoms and what I'm seeing as his mom that's with him 24/7. And I'm getting the runaround of what society sees as the solution to infant sleep problems. So it's been tough. And it's tough having the professional experience that I do because I want to say like, no, I have education in this. I have knowledge in this. Like I'm certified in I've been trained by neuroscientists. Like I know things about sleep, and end up kind of not saying those things and going into a bit of a fawn response as the mom, because I'm the mom in this role. So navigating all of that has been pretty tricky. But we're getting through it. He is a wonderful toddler with very curious, funny personality, and he sleeps on my chest every night. And that's just how we go about right now. And that's just how we're getting through it. That's how we're surviving. And I think this ties into how it's so important to kind of move away from this abstinence-based approach to bed sharing and co-sleeping, because there are some situations where it is truly the only option for some families and some babies. And it's about being able to educate families on what to do in the meantime, is kind of how I say it. So like, for example, if you see your baby has open mouth breathing and snoring, and you're able to say, okay, this is potentially an airway health concern, but I'm not going to be able to do anything to solve it today. So what the heck am I supposed to be able to do tonight to get some sleep for our family? And when we have this abstinence-based approach to bed sharing, it leaves parents in this predicament where they're like, okay, I know this issue is happening and I want to help my child, but it's not going to be solved in a day. So what am I supposed to do tonight? Like, sleep happens every night. Bedtime happens every night. What am I supposed to do in the meantime? And I think that that's where we need to be a little bit less black and white about it, because right now, while we're navigating all this, my son sleeping on my chest is how we get enough sleep to function and how we get through the day. And we will navigate the rest of it, as it comes and as the time allows. But I think that ties into this too.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like we always want to help parents like hold how hard infant sleep is and hold how beautiful that support is. Because I see both from you telling your story too. Because you also have been able to show up for him with so much compassion and love and support for all these past 2 years as well.
I hope so. I hope that it's making a difference, and I have to believe that it is. Like, and I know that it is intellectually, but sometimes day to day, I'm like, is this even really making a difference? And I know it is, but it's definitely had its ups and downs, and it's not easy by any means. So.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I love that you have had such a deep experience, like navigating the health systems, navigating sleep for you and your baby. And can step into a place to really help parents, which is so lovely. I wonder as well, like through the navigation of like medical systems and specialists and things, do you feel like your voice has gotten stronger? Do you feel like, because I am right with you there on the fawning and people pleasing and feeling like the domination of like medical, influence and things like this. Do you feel like you've grown in that way as a mother through that process?
I hope so. To be honest, I'm not where I want to be in that regard. And I think there's a lot of people pleasing in my history, just as my personality, that I need to work through and process and kind of come out on the other side of. But I do think that I've gotten more confident in even making decisions and staying strong in those decisions on more of a micro level. So like, for example, maybe I am still struggling to advocate to like doctors and things like that, but I'm definitely more grounded and confident in my choices with like family and friends, and kind of on that micro level where I'm able to say, no, we're doing this because, and this is what we do in our family, in our house, because X, Y, Z. And I can kind of communicate it better on that micro level and working towards being able to do it on a more macro level.
It's very strong to communicate it in your own community. Yeah. A lot of times when I'm doing consults, parents that's one of their big questions is like, I just saw a family last week and they're like, our neighbor just keeps coming over and telling us that we hold our baby too much, that we're not doing it right. We're holding the baby too much. And they're like, what do we say? They're like, we've read the book. What do we say to them? So it's very important to be able to communicate, right? And we don't need to put our approach onto other people, our views, our judgments onto other people, but we can absolutely stand in that confidence in ourselves and say, I know you want to take care of me. This is what I told to them. I'm like, I know that you're like looking out for us. I love that. Thank you so much. I want you to know we're doing great. And like, this is what is best for us. And thank you again. Right.
Absolutely.
People sometimes build it up in their heads. It's like such a big, a big deal.
Totally.
So has your family and friends been supportive of your sleep approach? How have you felt?
More or less. I think it's been a learning experience for everyone. I think just around me, because it's not the traditional approach. It's not the mainstream approach yet. I hope it is one day. I hope it does become the mainstream approach. And I think we're headed in that direction, or at least making progress in that direction. But I think it definitely is an adjustment, especially from like a generational perspective, because I think as much as, for example, older generations want to support me and parents in my generation, there is that kind of like mindset of, well, we did it this way and like everything turned out okay, or you guys turned out fine, or, you know, this is how we've done it for so many years. Like, why change it now? And I tried to kind of respond to that with, yes, and I understand that past generations were doing the best they could with the information they had at the time. And we have more information now. We have more knowledge. We have more science. We have more kind of confidence in parenting decisions and things like that, and more ways to navigate these issues. And when we know more and when we know better, we can do more and we can do better. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what it comes down to, is like, it's not that we are bashing our parents or grandparents. It's that we're recognizing they did the best they could with what they had at the time. And here we are trying to do the best we can with what we have right now.
Truly,
and
yeah.
I'm sure 30 years from now, when I'm a grandparent and my son, you know, God willing, has kids or has a family, there's going to be a bunch of other new things that maybe we've developed or learned or understood about infant mental health and brain development and nurture and all those things. And maybe there'll be different ways to nurture and respond 30 years from now. And I hope that I remember what I'm thinking right now and be open to that.
Yeah, and teach our kids that too. Model it and teach them that grace and acceptance. I love that. So yeah, I mean, I see you and your son are so much like me and my mom, and I do look back and I'm so grateful that she didn't listen to all the people around her who told her she was weak and making us wake up, and, you know, was the cause of all of the sensitivity and things like that. And that she did so much to figure out our reflux and our food sensitivities. And so my brother and I were very similar. And our crying and discomfort. And I do have to say, I don't think I've ever publicly given her credit for it. She was also back then noticed that red dye made us like behaviorally
interesting,
you know, dysregulated. And she was like, don't give my kids food coloring. And everyone's like, you're crazy. Like, that's not, and like, that's been proven. So
she's like, I knew it.
Your intuition. Trust the data you're gathering with your own baby, and know that they do ask us for what they need.
Totally.
Thank you for sharing that. I know that you do a beautiful job sharing it online too, which is so supportive for our moms and babies, like, who have the highest needs overnight.
Yeah. Right? Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
And I was also laughing a little. I don't know. Tell me whether or not you experienced this or not. When my son was about to be 2, it was like 22-ish months. It was the hardest sleep time.
Oh, yeah.
Are you feeling it over there?
Oh, yes, because for lots of reasons. One is he is flirting with dropping his nap completely. He's on the lower sleep. I don't want to say low sleep needs because he's average, but like low average, I would say. And some days he, for example, right now he has a nap today. And I tried twice. I offered the nap 2 different times over the past few hours, and he is just deciding it's not happening today. And we've had a couple days like that in the past, month or so. Some days he naps no problem, kind of like, on his normal routine, but other days he is just not having it. And then when he does nap, bedtime has gotten super late. And so he's at really late bedtime now, and everything's just chaotic. He doesn't want to wind down. It's interesting though, because he's not upset. Like he's not angry. He's not upset. He's not cranky. He just wants to keep going. And I think that is very normal and typical. And I know it's normal. And yes,
hard.
It's been hard. It has been hard because he's talking more, he's running, he's jumping, there's just so much going on, and it's amazing to watch as a parent.
Yeah.
And when he's like running laps around the kitchen at 11 p.m., I'm like, oh my gosh, please just give me something.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Let's see what happens. Sometimes they'll like at this age when everything is wild, sometimes they will return to napping.
Yes. I've heard that too. Yeah.
Maybe not. It's all a surprise.
And maybe, we'll see what happens today too, because the alternative is he doesn't nap and he's ready for sleep at like 6 p.m., which is not ideal either because I have to go to bed with him. So
yeah. Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, I feel like this episode could be called Infant Sleep is Messy. The reality of infant sleep, it's messy, and we have to be on our toes a lot. Amazing. Well, before we say goodbye, will you give us a little impression of our certification for anyone who may be listening and is like curious about doing sleep consults? Let us know. What did you think about the whole program?
Yeah. So I recommend the program to anyone and everyone who is interested in it. Like I said, I think that there is a wide range of possibilities with what you can do with the program. So for example, if you just want to use it as personal education for yourself and for your parenthood journey, there's lots of opportunities to use it that way, and lots of wonderful information to just inform your own parenthood journey. And then if you want to take it to a professional aspect of things, which, I know is the intention behind it, you are more than equipped to do that too with sleep consults. That's mainly what I've been doing. And I think that, you and Rocio do a fantastic job of preparing us for the business aspect of it too. I go through kind of the business module regularly just to look at the scripts for intro calls and the scripts that you have for, talking to families about testimonials and feedback and all those types of things. And I think it's been so helpful to have it all laid out like that in a way that's so easily digestible. And the other thing too that I think is so wonderful about this course is it is so new parent friendly. And by that, I mean, I was able to complete it at a time in my life that was pretty unpredictable because of the flexibility of being able to listen in on sessions with my camera off and participate in the chat, or watch the replays later on, or refer back to things. So I actually had someone message me on Instagram asking me if your program would be able to be completed with a new baby that is co-sleeping and contact napping. And I said, absolutely. That's literally how I did it. Like, I would do this live sessions with my earbuds in, with my son napping on me, and participate in the chat and, come on if I could. And I think that makes it so accessible to everyone. And I think that makes it a really unique program in some regards, because it's not strict and it's very parent friendly, baby friendly, which obviously makes sense given the nature of the material, but it is a big bonus. And I would highly recommend taking the leap and jumping into it, because it does kind of change how you see your own parenthood journey. It changes how you see parents around you, and it changes how you're able to interact with the world of infant sleep and stress and maternal mental health, baby mental health, all of those things. So it really is a holistic, well-rounded experience that I never regret for a second. And I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to do it.
Oh, amazing. I always get surprised when people ask me, they're like, can I bring my baby? And I was like, I would never think of creating something where you couldn't bring your baby.
Right.
But it's great to hear that you felt that. I'm so happy you felt that way. Yeah. When my son was like really little, I would still do talks here and there. And I would just have my camera just like this, and my husband, or maybe my camera would like end here. And my husband would just like bring my son in. I would just like breastfeed him like as I was doing talks, and then like slide him out.
So, you can never say moms aren't superheroes. Like, moms are superheroes. Moms are amazing.
We're amazing. We can do amazing things. Incredible. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here and sharing everything with us. So all your intimate experience with sleep. Let us know where we can find you. How can our viewers and listeners find you?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram usually is my main social media. My name is Nurtured Mom, Nurtured Baby, with periods in between each word. And you can find me there. And I'm also on the Nurture Neuroscience website as a sleep consultant, and you can find me there too. And I look forward to anyone that wants to reach out, chat, connect. Would be happy to be part of your village, your community.
Amazing. Thanks, Gabrielle. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. Talk to you soon. Bye.